Hey YouTube, how would you like to be paid $65,000 for a video? That sounds kind of awesome. Sign me up for that, right? See, the crypto world is riddled with all kinds of paid shills in a dark, slimy underground around moon pumping and sending stuff to the moon and then just rug pulling it right after. And it's a true shame. That stuff needs to stop. It's happening all on this platform right here, YouTube. It also happens on Twitter quite a bit, and of all places, and I can't believe this one, TikTok? Like, really, TikTok? But yes, in this video, I'm gonna uncover exactly how much some of these crypto YouTubers make. I'm even gonna show their names. The reason for it is because I don't care. I want you to know, you need to see this, you need to be aware of it, because it's a huge systemic problem, and there's gotta be a better way to do this. In this video, we're going to cover just how much they make, how slimy it is, and what we should be doing about it. You don't want to go anywhere. This is some great information that anyone involved in crypto needs to know, coming right up. Hey friends, Wes Spencer here. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you don't know much about me, I am not a crypto moon pumper. I stick to the technology. I am actually a technology evangelist. I am not a crypto moon pumper. I'm not even a full-time YouTuber. And honestly, I never will be. I have no need for it. And so I do this for fun. Friends ask me like, hey, what do you do for your hobbies? Well, I'm like, some people golf. I YouTube. It's what I love to do. And so in this video, I'm going to cover how much some of these YouTubers make and just how slimy and nasty it is. Now, I actually kind of hope I get a cease and desist. It won't be the first time I've ever got a C&D before. And so if I do, I will actually show it right here on this channel. We'll see if any take the bait and go after us. So we're going to cover this. We're going to dive into just how nasty all this is. And here's one of the best sources for this information. I'm going to share my screen out because I want you to see this one here. This comes from a really awesome Twitter person. His name is Zach XBT. I can only assume the real name is Zach, but who knows exactly. I will put a link to the Twitter profile in the description so you can get to this and see it for yourself. There are many others that are like rug pull investigators and crypto deep divers trying to get into this nasty world of what's happening. But this is one of my favorites. So Zach XBT has 206,000 followers, quite a few more than me, by the way. If you want to follow me, I'm at Twitter, just at Wes_Spencer. There was a Twitter imposter that was like Wes__Spencer, and they had like, I don't know, 20,000 like Twitter followers, like way more than me. I'm like, how is it like the scammers have more than I do? That's a shame. So anyway, follow him. Really good information. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring up in a minute, I'm going to get into the actual thread that they have around all this, but just follow. This person dives all the way into like NFT scams, rug pull scams, not just how much like influencers actually make. So you can get into this. I highly encourage you to see this. By the way, I thought this was pretty interesting too. They actually have their own, this person has their own Ethereum donations page. And I thought that was interesting because as much as Zach XBT is against like influencers and shills, he's sitting on $74,000, 19 ETH in his donation account, right? And so I guess my point is I don't see that as hypocritical. I want to make sure that Zach XBT and everyone else that watches and understands this is that we all need money, right? We all need we're not doing this for free. Nobody's doing this for free. It's okay for you to earn some money out of all of this. And he's getting his money from donations. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But what's to stop that person from getting a ton of crypto from some kind of like shady donator and then things could go south from there? It's not happening, I don't think. But I'm just saying we should all be aware it's okay to make money in crypto, especially for being an influencer. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it. And you could even argue that Zach XBT himself or herself or themselves is doing the same thing. They're also an influencer. They're just on the side of uncovering the shady side of the house. So hopefully they'll stay that way and not become those who they rail against, right? So I just thought I would share that because I thought that was kind of funny. Another thing though is if you're interested in seeing more about their investigations, they have a Notion site. I'm going to click on this right here. And this will bring up Zach XBT's Notion site. It doesn't look like there's a lot of information here, and there actually is more than you'd think. You can pull up influencers. It's not fully built out, I don't think, but then you can select one that's on here, right? So Ty Lopez, if you don't know Ty Lopez, well-known influencer, he buys like these like fallen defunct companies. He just bought Radio Shack, and then he created like Radio Shack token. It's super super shilly and super super marketing driven, but he is making some value out of the product and integrating in with other projects. I own none of it. I'm never going to own it. I'm not a huge fan of the way all that stuff operates. But there is Ty Lopez, if, for example, you want to see. So there's some of the tweets that Zach XBT has put on. So you can actually click on that and see the tweet threads. And then also he puts them on archive.org just in case, I guess, somehow they get deleted. So you can always go back and look at those. So give that a look as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back and look right here at this influencer shill price leak list. Now, a few things I should say about this. I don't know how Zach XBT got this. So I could only presume that he and others have reached out and gotten information from these influencers. See, they all have like media inquiry contacts. I actually have one on my channel. If you go to my about page on YouTube, you'll see the email that I use for that. People hit me up nonstop for all of this stuff, for all kinds of shilling. I mean, my channel is not the biggest, but I'm getting closer to 100,000. And by the way, if you subscribe, I'm going to get there even quicker. Ha ha ha. But we do know that he's put his reputation on the line for some of these that are on here. So let's go take a look at some of them. So we can click on these and we can see here is a whole bunch of information around each of these users and how much they make for the shilling, right? And even Lindsay Lohan is on here. You see her right here in the middle, right? So you can see how many they take for a shill tweet, $25,000. For a retweet, man, all you do is hit one button, just retweet, and you make $20,000. That's not so bad. And then a package deal, 35,000 from the one and only. So that's pretty incredible to me, right? But as you go and look through all of these, there's a huge list. Now, I did look, and I'm not on this list. And if I was on this list, I was going to be pretty angry because I know it's false because I don't take shills, right? I have no need to take shills. Like I said, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. While I like to take money and get money for YouTube ads, and I'm happy to take like a 30-second sponsor, even though I don't really ever do that, I don't shill. I don't moon pump. Never have, never will. And so I will never be on this list. It's kind of nice. And because I'm not a full-time YouTuber, I don't need the money. So it's kind of interesting. So let's go and pull up this thread right here is the one I wanted to actually look at. So if we take a peek at this one, it's going to be a little hard to see. I'm going to try to zoom in. We'll see how, yeah, it doesn't work. So unfortunately, it's a little bit hard to see, but you will be able to get a good idea. So here's Altcoin Daily at the very bottom. Sitting there is number 44 in the list, not 44 in size. That is for sure. They're sitting at 1.23 million subscribers. There is a good chance that every single one of you watching this video today subscribe to Altcoin Daily. And hear me, I'm not telling you to unsubscribe and blacklist them. I'm not saying that, but I am saying, look at this. So they have millions and millions of views. And their price down here at the bottom is $65,000 for a shill video for them to review your project. Holy smokes. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that are on this list. Some that are quite cheap, some that are quite high. Here's $25,000 for Crypto Crow. Don't even know who they are. In fact, none of these do I really know who they are. And some of them quite small, right? Let's find someone around my size. So I'm about 75,000. Let's find, here's a 66,000. So they charge $2,300 for a shill video is what they would find. They'd charge. Let's look for another one. Here's 84,000. That's getting close to me. So they're, wow. This person is based in Canada. It's Crypto King with a space for whatever reason. They're $7,500. So do the math here, right? A lot of these moon pumpers will do at least one shill video per day. And so they're racking up in the value. They're racking up in the money. And a lot of people are very frustrated with like BitBoy, who's not on this list, but has been covered by Zach XBT before and by Altcoin Daily and some of these premium channels that are 1 million plus that are known to do a lot of shilling and known to take somewhere between $20,000 and $100,000 in fees to do so. And this is where I want to get on this video. Is that right? I think it's wrong, clearly. I think shilling and telling people why you think a product is great because you're being paid to do so, that's not so great. Now, you might argue, Wes, isn't this the same thing as endorsements? right? Like someone might pay Shaquille O'Neal, who I love, $100,000 to do his little paying back commercial, right? Well, there is some differences between all of this. I think it's okay when you have worked really hard and slaved away to build a great audience. I think it's okay for you to be a sponsor or to have sponsors and to be an endorsement for other products. But I think we need to have an ethical line in how we do all of that. I think a lot of YouTubers, they put a lot of hours into this, and some of them do it full time. So they're going to have to make revenue out of this. And some of the channels, even like BitBoy, have lots of employees behind the scenes. So it's important for them to be able to put bread on the table and to live well for the hard work they've done. And I would say for you as the audience, never forget there are so many people that are jumping into wanting to become a crypto influencer. And the mistake they make is this: they have no idea the amount of hard work and efforts and travails it takes to get there, to get to that point. If you don't believe me, go watch the Joe Rogan interview with Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson. I don't care if you like Joe Rogan or not. I'm just saying go listen to the interview because you're going to learn that Jimmy did not just figure it out overnight. He has spent countless hours. He has singly devoted his life to YouTube. And that's why he's the number one YouTuber that's out there. He's put in more time, more effort, more blood, more sweat, more tears, and more money into YouTube than anybody else out there, period, full stop. And so let's not forget the hard work that YouTubers put in. But let's also understand there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So here are some of my thoughts on all of this. And I'm really giving these thoughts so that I can get feedback from you, the community, so we can maybe establish some standards here on how to allow YouTubers to make money, to take sponsors, but to really go through this in a more ethical way. So let's start with that. Shilling is never okay. If your YouTube video is ever doing things like this random crypto that someone's paying me thousands of dollars for is going to the moon, and here's why it's going to the moon, it's wrong, period. Stop it. Just don't do those things. I think it's okay to some degree for us to be able to have a sponsored full review, but let's not do the price speculation moon pumping stuff. Because the truth is, and you know if you follow this channel, I say this all the time, no YouTuber knows what crypto is going to the moon. They don't. They'll often use their influence to pump something up and then sell it right away. So maybe some ways we could handle that. Maybe there ought to be some crypto escrow service. And so if you take a full sponsored review, maybe you don't get those funds for 6 months or 3 months or something like that. That way you cannot be the pumper. You pump this thing up with your channel and then you sell it. That's not possible because you haven't got your funds yet. I don't know, just thinking out loud, maybe something like that. But we know that the moon pumping aspect is super wrong, and that's what we need to stay away from. So how do we get to like an ethical standard that I think is fair for everybody and the right thing to do? So, okay, let's start with this. I will say this, it is okay to take a sponsor. You have to take sponsors. Here's the deal. YouTube ad revenue is not enough to survive and put bread on the table unless you're at a top shelf, like 1 million plus, and you're pumping out videos daily. How do I know that? Let me just tell you, my YouTube video, the amount of money that I make is anywhere between $800 and $3,000, in some cases $4,000 a month. It's all heavily dependent on how many videos I produce at a time. YouTube ad revenue for someone like me is not enough. I would have to constantly pump out videos and slave away to even have a chance at making a decent livable wage compared to what I make as a software entrepreneur. It's just not there. So it's okay to take sponsorships. And I think sponsorships, when done correctly, are actually good for the community. Because let's not forget, many of us don't really dive deep into the crypto sphere and we want to find new projects. And so I think finding sponsors that are new and up and coming and well capitalized and ready to get going, it's okay for them to pay a YouTuber to be an influencer for them, to be someone that simply is there to like talk about the project, but let's not shill on that project. And I also think we should largely stay away from full product reviews, at least that are paid. When I do a full review of a project, I am never paid for them. I don't take money for them because I don't think it's right. I follow them because I think they're awesome and I like where the project is going. So things that I cover a lot, like Pi Network, like Feg, like a lot of the new stuff that comes out in Coinbase projects, the entire Cosmos ecosystem. I just did a review or not a review, but a full interview with Connor Wetzel from Shade Protocol. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's awesome. Connor paid me zero. I got nothing out of it. I just thought it was awesome. So let's stay away from those things being paid And let's allow sponsors to come in. So maybe Carter comes in and says, Wes, I want to pay you X amount of money for you to be able to put almost like a commercial spot in your video for me. I think that's fine. I think it's fine for me to say, hey, this video is sponsored by Shade Protocol. Check out what they're doing. Here's what makes Shade unique. Here's some things you can take a look. And here's some new features they just wrote in. And here's some awesome earning potential that's in it. Check it out if it's right for you. 30 to 90 seconds. That's fine. Not shilling, not putting it to the moon, just a simple sponsorship. So I think that's the okay way to do it. I think the way that we should get around it. It's okay to have your compensation well earned for the work and the endorsements that you put in. I think that is okay. But let's stay away from shilling to the moon in full product reviews when they're actually sponsored. So what do I think we need? Let me close on this. I think we need some kind of open community standard. It needs to be something that we all adhere to, that the community puts forth and says, we think this is a good way to do it. And when I say the community, I don't mean just viewers, right? Just the consumers. I mean the producers and the content creators like me. I would say as a content creator, my ask back to the community is to say this. Remember, we put in a lot of time. We put in a lot of reputation. We put in a lot of effort and blood, sweat, and tears to get this going, so we should be able to earn some money on this. Just like I watch a TV show of some kind, which who watches TV anymore, and there's commercials. Or I listen to, I don't know, Spotify, and I'm not paying Spotify Premium, so I get commercials. There's nothing wrong at all with that approach. But let's also understand from the community side, they don't have the ability to truly and fully vet what's a good project, what's not a good project, and understand that they're being shilled to. They don't spend the time that we do as the content creators. So the other side of the table, I think we as the producers need to understand we have an ethical standard that we need to have in place to not violate the trust principles of our community, to not go forward and drop in all of these super crappy, super unknown, maybe rug pulley, scammy cryptos, only to get some ourselves and then immediately sell after we make our video and the hype pumps up. So we all need to find a standard that we can adhere to. And I think it needs to be both sides of the table meet in the middle around all of this. And I think if we can do that, and we can have YouTubers commit to some kind of transparency, I think we could really take this in a much better direction. Because let's be honest, when you talk to a lot of the crypto naysayers and unbelievers that are out there, and they're like, man, I've seen these YouTube videos and these people are weird, right? They're all like these crazy, like, those kind of like images that you see like on the thumbnails, and then it's always, this one's going to the moon, this one's blowing up, there's no credibility in that space, none at all. So we need to avoid all that and get away from it. So those are my thoughts on it, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Is there a better way? If there is, what is that way? What would you like to see? I'd love to see the community come together and establish an open standard that we can all certify to and really truly move crypto into a much more mature space. Let me know what your thoughts are. While you're here, if you haven't already, hit the like button. It's literally the big thing the algorithm uses to tell if a video is good or not. And would you hit subscribe? We're getting to 100,000. I would love to get there this year, but I can only do it if you whack that button. All right, my friends, thank you so much.